Girl, I had, excuse me, I had done got back in the bed, wrapped my hair up, changed into a nice, comfortable sleeping outfit so that I could heal. I took off my ring, so I'm naked. And then as soon as I snuggled up under the covers, Joh'Vonnie Jackson called me with some foolishness. And I'm just like, Joh'Vonnie, niece, girl. So for the new subscribers, I'm Kailah. For the old subscribers, I'm Kailah. For those of you that are popping in, I'm Kailah, and that is spelled Kailah. Thank you. As we all know, when I come on a video braless, that means somebody talking too much, and I don't have my bra on at the moment. So we've got loose titties and loose lips. Joh'Vonnie Jackson, who I guess people didn't know was a Jackson, as in the Jackson family. I've always known about Joh'Vonnie. But then my daddy's from Gary, Indiana. And my great grandmama used to babysit the Jacksons in the day, according to my father. And Blackula. Apparently my great grandmama used to babysit the man that played Blackula. I don't know. But for those of you who are unfamiliar, Joh'Vonnie Jackson is the additional Jackson. She is Joe Jackson's daughter with another woman who's not Catherine. She's an outside daughter. She has written a book. It's called Bastard Child, I believe it is. And it's a tell-all about how the family shunned her. And let me let up this window because I know when the winds get high, it's hard to hear me. The family shunned her, and Michael and Janet specifically didn't want nothing to do with her. And, her life, life for her ain't been no crystal stair. And at 43 years old, Joh'Vonnie, you just need to go ahead and be over it. I don't know what she was looking for as far as being a Jackson. I'm not sure. I think because Joe is her father, she felt or feels that she is maybe owed some sort of celebrity, owed some sort of something, and it's just not what it is. Very much like Beyonce. If Solange never did get popular, she's not owed popularity because Beyonce is her sister. She would have to work for it like she has. Because for the longest time, people weren't checking for Solange. They were only checking for Beyonce. I've always loved Solange. But Solange recently put out this body of work that everybody lives for, and now it's okay. Beyonce and Solange, powerhouse, siblings. Solange had to work for that. I don't know, Joh'Vonnie, what you feel like you need to be achieving in this life. But baby, you're going to have to work for it. Just like the rest of us. I watched, I think it was Entertainment, E. I'm so old, Jesus. On E. Was it E or E.T.? Whatever. She was doing an interview, and she said that she didn't meet Michael and Janet and, everybody until she was 29 years old, and she had already had her daughter. And she said Michael was standoffish and distant and, was more interested in her daughter than her, and Janet and Michael just didn't live for her, and Reeby's the only one that kind of, loved her. I don't know, girl. The fact of the matter is simply, girl, you're one of those extra children, and that's through no fault of your own. This is your mom and daddy's issue. But you wasn't with the Jacksons shooting in the gym. Have you noticed that the only Jacksons that everybody cares about and everybody mentions is Janet and Michael? That's because Janet and Michael worked from the time they were old enough to work, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and carrying on to now. For Janet, Michael's going on. They worked. They put out bodies of work that everybody lived for. Janet did movies. And Janet, out of all the Jacksons, has made herself the most relatable and the most, that everybody feels like, we know Janet. We love Janet. Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Marvin, Carvin, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike didn't do that. They haven't continued to work. I mean, they're doing their little things on, the Jacksons and the little tours and stuff, but they did not give us what Janet and Michael have given us. And with that being said, Tito and Jermaine and, all their children, whoever, Your Majesty and whatever all Jermaine's kids' names are, and, all of Tito's children, Titoni and Tita Patata, they try, but they are not as relevant as Michael and Janet. So, and nobody ever talks about Reeby. Reeby had Centipede, and that was my cut. Because when the centipede is hot. But nobody ever talks about Reby because Reby did not give us what Michael and Janet gave us. So, Joh'Vonnie, I don't know what you're looking for from us, but you have not even given us a song. You've not given us a song. Reby gave us Centipede. LaToya gave us He's My Brother, and all she got a bunch of hits that I love. Just Want to Dance, all of that that the kids live for. Jermaine, he had hits. Tito and the rest of them, they just fall in. But they are part of the Jacksons, who have given us, okay, slow down, a reason, to live, a reason to get our lives. Joh'Vonnie, daughter, you were just born. So, what do you want? Why are you calling me? Why am I answering the phone for Joh'Vonnie Jackson and her foolishness? These are the questions. It's just the fact of the matter is simply, and now I know that it hurts you, that you aren't close with your siblings. And again, it's through no fault of your own that you were born. But just like you were born, they were born. They were born to Joe and Catherine, and then Joe stepped out on Catherine and created you. And that's problematic. Now, I personally am the type of person that I don't consider my half siblings. We are just siblings. I'm not doing no half and whole and full and part and a quarter and all of that. I'm not doing all of that. We're not doing fractions when it comes to, my siblings. But the Jacksons, they seem like they do halves and quarters and eighths and things. Now, you've been Joh'Vonnie Jackson for 43 years. By now, it's like, girl, go ahead and give it up. I know it's probably hurtful that you don't have your recognition and your siblings don't live for you. But you got to remember, all 30 of them kids grew up together in the same house together, getting beat together, two-stepping together, singing together. You was down the road, you and your mama, and I don't know if you have any other siblings, but you wasn't shooting with them in the gym. So it's not going to be the same thing. It's not. Me and my siblings have a completely different relationship with our father. Completely different. My daddy is there for them. Like, they're there for them. He basically is a single father raising them kids. He had little to no part in raising me. So these kids wasn't shooting with me in the gym, struggling and, ain't had no daddy around when I was growing up, Tiara Marie. I don't begrudge them for that because that's not their fault. But the Jackson siblings, it's a bunch of them. And they ride deep. If I had, a bunch of siblings, quote unquote, whole siblings, between my mom and daddy, and we rode deep, I may feel a little bit differently, but it's just me. So, I personally am not going to be swayed to, begrudge my siblings because they have a better relationship with my daddy than I did. But if I had older sisters and, older brothers that felt some type of way, I may be swayed to feel that way. And that's probably what that is. Jermaine probably over there sitting over there like, you know what? Joh'Vonnie wasn't here with us. Joh'Vonnie wasn't, taking the beatings and carryings on. Joh'Vonnie don't count. And then, Marvin, Carvin, BB and CC and Deborah Joy and all the other whining children. I sitting there, and this is a joke, y'all. I had somebody, last time I mentioned, the Jacksons. When I'm naming off the Jacksons, I start naming off the Jacksons, and then I go into the Winans, and then I'll go into New Edition. And then I may go into, El DeBarge and the rest of the DeBarges, just because I don't have anything better to do, and it's funny to me. But the point is, I feel like they probably have a hive mind situation where, the older siblings or the more influential siblings, the ones that, get everybody else to feel a certain way, have gotten them to feel a way about Joh'Vonnie. And there's nothing we can do about it, Joh'Vonnie. Coming to us, calling me on my phone while I'm in the bed, wrapped up, trying to heal, with cough drops and tea and things. I can't help you with that. So you writing this tell-all book talking about how, didn't nobody love you. Maybe it's cathartic for you, but it just seems messy. It seems very messy. The whole interview she did felt very messy. She was talking about how, she could have, if, Michael would have let her in, she could have told him to stop having those jobs. And I'm like, you certainly could not have told your brother, 16 years, your senior, to stop having those jobs, because he was a grown man. And I'm almost certain the rest of his siblings were like, so Michael, we got the Groupon. We all went in for the family rate for the nose job. We all got the same nose job. And then here you come popping up every couple years with a new nose. Now, we had agreed on a set nose, and we have that nose. What are you doing? I feel like, I'm sure that Michael's mama, daddy, cousins, and them all said, so Mike, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? But he was a grown man who decided to continue on with his, building of cleft palates and nose jobs and carrying on. You couldn't have stopped him from doing that. I know you like to think, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and what if. But, girl, no. So I guess the book may have been, cathartic for you, and I hope you do feel better. But you just seem messy. And with this, I want Joh'Vonnie Jackson and the girl who keeps claiming to be Janet Jackson's daughter to get together and write a joint book so I can ignore them jointly. That's all I want. Because that girl's not Janet's daughter. Let me tell you something. I do believe Janet had a daughter. I believe she had a secret daughter with the DeBarge boy. I believe it. And I believe that daughter is, Joh'Vonnie Jackson? I think it's Tito's daughter. Look up Joh'Vonnie Jackson. That baby looked just like Janet. Just like her. I think that's Janet's daughter. But honestly, it could just be her niece that looked just like her. Either way, though, that other girl is not Janet's daughter. But you and Joh'Vonnie link up, other girl, and y'all do something together. Sit and commiserate on how y'all are not Jacksons together. And honestly, girl, there are only 10 Jacksons. The rest of everybody on earth, whether their last name is Jackson or not, ain't a Jackson like that. So come sit over here with the rest of us and just don't be a Jackson. You a Jackson, but don't be the Jacksons. Because you're not the Jacksons. Come sit with us. Sit over here, and we'll just, live our lives accordingly. Thank you, and good night. That's all I had to say, girl. Not Joh'Vonnie, girl. Joh'Vonnie. She had got on my nerves with that. And so I thought I'd bring it to you. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all the things that YouTube is saying. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.